Los Angeles, the city of dreams, the city of stars, the city where fortunes are made and spent before the sun sets over the Pacific. But I need to tell you something. This city is home to 45 billionaires, 516 people worth over $100 million, more than 220,000 millionaires, total wealth, trillions. And yet, on the same streets, under the same sun, in the shadows of the same palm trees, 75,000 homeless people sleep tonight, a few miles from $165 million mansions. Families live in tents. Children wake up on sidewalks. Veterans beg for change outside luxury boutiques. But here's what makes this story different. The billionaires are leaving. One by one, quietly. Without fanfare, in 2025 alone, $1 trillion in wealth fled California. $1 trillion in a single year. Google founders, PayPal creators, tech titans who built their empires in Silicon Valley and Los Angeles. Gone. This is the story of the world's wealthiest city's silent collapse, and perhaps the story of the one thing money cannot buy, a city's soul. To understand Los Angeles, you need to look at its map, but not a regular map. Imagine a map drawn by income inequality, where wealthy neighborhoods rise like mountains and poor neighborhoods sink into valleys. On this map, Los Angeles has the steepest cliffs in the world. Beverly Hills, Bel Air, Pacific Palisades, Malibu. These aren't just neighborhoods, they're kingdoms. In Beverly Hills, the median home price is $3.5 million. But that's the average. The real numbers are much higher. Jeff Bezos bought the Warner estate in 2024, $165 million. The most expensive residential sale in California history. 10 acres of land, built in 1937 for Jack Warner, founder of Warner Brothers. A golf course, tennis courts, guest houses, gardens it took decades to perfect. But Bezos wasn't satisfied. He bought the adjacent property for $10 million. Then another plot of undeveloped land for $90 million. Total, $265 million just for his Los Angeles real estate. And Bezos isn't alone. Lachlan Murdoch purchased the Chartwell estate in Bel Air for $150 million, famous as the Clampett family home from the Beverly Hillbillies. In 2024, a Malibu mansion sold for $210 million, a new California record. The former home of Oakley founder James G. 15,000 square feet, 10 acres. A private stretch of beach, Beyoncé and Jay-Z, Lamb by Million. Also Malibu. Mark Andreessen, $177 million. Paradise Cove. Tony Pritzker, the Hyatt Air, built a 50,000 square foot mansion, now listed for $175 million. You cannot walk through these neighborhoods. There are no sidewalks. Private security patrols the streets. Gated communities keep everyone else out. When volunteers conducted a homeless count in Bel Air, they searched for 2 hours. The number of homeless people they found, zero. Zero. Because these neighborhoods are designed so that homelessness cannot exist there. Private security chases away strangers. Gated communities admit no outsiders. The nearest public restroom is miles away. But those homeless people didn't disappear. They just became invisible. Los Angeles County is home to more than 75,000 homeless people. That's larger than the population of some small countries, cities. And that's just the official number. From 2022 to 2023, the area covering Beverly Hills, Brentwood, Malibu, and surrounding neighborhoods saw a 45% increase in homelessness. 45%. In 1 year. Irony. This region contains the wealthiest neighborhoods in Los Angeles, median income 54% above the county average. But wealth doesn't stop homelessness. It just pushes it somewhere else. Skid Row, a few blocks on the edge of downtown. This is the homeless capital of Los Angeles. Tent cities, cardboard shelters. People sleeping on sidewalks. And it's only 15 minutes from Beverly Hills. Same city. Same sun. Same California dream, but completely different worlds. According to a UCLA study, a minimum wage worker in Los Angeles would need to work 87 hours per week to afford an average one-bedroom apartment. 87 hours. That's more than 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, and that's just for an average apartment. Forget the Beverly Hills mansions. 3/4 of Los Angeles renters spend more than 30% of their income on rent. That's the threshold for being rent-burdened. California's poverty rate rose to 18.9% in 2023, up from 16.4% in 2022, up from 11% in 2021. 7.3 million Californians cannot meet their basic needs. That's more than the combined population of Los Angeles, San Diego, San Jose, and San Francisco. And while all this happens, 45 billionaires live in the same city. Their combined wealth, over $193 billion. This paradox defines Los Angeles. Nowhere else are wealth and poverty so close together. But now, something is changing. The billionaires are running. In early 2025, $1 trillion in wealth left California. In a single year, venture capitalist Chamath Palihapitiya said it plainly. More calls from friends. The total wealth that has left California is now $1 trillion. This is just the beginning. Google co-founder Larry Page moved or closed more than 45 California LLCs in December 2024. Through a trust, he purchased a $71.9 million home in Miami. Fellow co-founder Sergey Brin, in the 10 days before Christmas, he terminated or relocated 15 California LLCs to Nevada. Peter Thiel, founder of PayPal, opened a new office for his investment firm in Miami. He left his Los Angeles headquarters behind. David Sachs announced on New Year's Eve that he opened an office in Austin, Texas. Oracle founder Larry Ellison reportedly sold his San Francisco home for $45 million, the city's largest real estate transaction of 2025. Why are they running? The answer is simple. Taxes. California has the highest state income tax in America. The top bracket is 14.4% for those earning over $1 million. But the real trigger is something else, the Billionaire Tax. A proposal that could appear on the November 2026 ballot. Everyone with a net worth over $1 billion would pay a one-time tax of 5% on their total wealth. 5%. Sounds small, but Larry Page is worth $270 billion. 5%, $13.5 billion. Peter Thiel, $27 billion, 5%. $1.35 billion. And this tax would apply retroactively. Anyone living in California as of January 1st, 2026 would have to pay. That's why the exodus accelerated in the final days of 2025. Attorney David Lesperance, who specializes in relocation, said he personally helped 4 billionaires leave the state before the deadline. Just in the final days of the year, according to Bloomberg, at least half a dozen billionaires left California before the new year, and more than a dozen others are planning to follow. Where are they going? Texas, Florida, Nevada states with no state income tax. And then the fires came. January 2025, Pacific Palisades, Malibu, Altadena. One of the most devastating wildfires in Los Angeles history. Thousands of homes destroyed, more than 180,000 people evacuated. And this time, many of the burning homes belonged to celebrities. Paris Hilton watched her Malibu home burn on live television. Heartbroken beyond words, she said. This home was where my son Phoenix took his first steps. Billy Crystal lost the home he'd lived in for 45 years. Janice and I have lived in our home since 1979. We raised our children and grandchildren here. Every inch was filled with love. Mandy Moore, Mel Gibson, Anthony Hopkins, Adam Brody and Leighton, Meester, Miles Teller, Ricky Lake. The list goes on. The median home value in Pacific Palisades is $3.5 million. Just days after the Golden Globes, those same celebrities were evacuated. Wealth cannot stop nature. Millions of dollars in security systems couldn't prevent the flames. Private firefighters saved some homes, but not most. And after the fire, what happened? Paris Hilton bought a new mansion in Beverly Hills for $63 million. Mark Wahlberg's former home, 12 bedrooms, 20 bathrooms. The wealthy displaced by fire energized the luxury real estate market. But the 180,000 others many are still in temporary shelters. The fire exposed Los Angeles inequality. Once again. 4. The rich fire is a property loss, an insurance claim, an opportunity to buy a new home. For the poor, catastrophe. Catastrophe. Walk through Los Angeles now, but not with tourist eyes. With Real eyes, Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills still sparkles. The storefronts still gleam, but the customers inside are fewer. The mansions in Bel Air still stand magnificent, but many have been for sale for months. Prices are dropping. Casa Encantada, listed as the most expensive home in Los Angeles, it started at $250 million. Then dropped to $195 million, then $175 million. Now $165 million. Conrad Hilton's former home, built in 1937. 60 rooms, a 60-foot pool, and it still can't find a buyer. Tony Pritzker's 50,000 square foot mansion, reduced from $195 million to $175 million, because the people who could afford these homes no longer want to live in California. Jensen Huang, CEO of NVIDIA, is worth $156 billion. We chose to live in Silicon Valley, he said. Whatever taxes they want to apply, so be it. I'm perfectly fine with it. But Huang is the exception. Most billionaires are voting with their feet. California had a budget surplus of $97 billion in 2021 to 2022. In 2025, an expected deficit of $50 to $70 billion. Where did the difference go? It left with the billionaires. Nearly half of California's tax revenue comes from the top 1%. Capital gains and income tax. When these people leave, the tax base collapses. Governor Gavin Newsom opposes the Billionaire Tax. You can't isolate yourself from the other 49 states, he says. We're in a competitive environment. These people already have 2 or 3 homes outside the state. Moving is simple for them. But supporters of the tax won't give up. Bernie Sanders endorsed it. Our nation will not thrive when so few have so much while so many have so little. Is this the beginning of a class war? Perhaps. But one thing is certain, Los Angeles is changing. Think about Elon Musk, the world's richest man. Net worth over $250 billion. From 2012 to 2019, he bought 7 homes in Los Angeles. Total value over $100 million for mansions in Bel Air, side by side, like a compound. Gene Wilder's former home, the historic Ginny Accord mansion in Hillsborough. And then in 2020, he sent a tweet. I am selling almost all physical possessions. Will own no house. And he did. He sold every single home. Total proceeds about $128 million. He sold Gene Wilder's house to the actor's nephew, with a special condition. The house could not be torn down. Its soul must be preserved. Where does he live now? In Texas. In Boca Chica, next to SpaceX's rocket launch facility. In a 400-square-foot prefabricated house worth $50,000. The world's richest man in a $50,000 house. Is this a PR stunt? Maybe. Tax planning? Absolutely. Texas has no state income tax, but it's also a symbol. California's no longer home for billionaires. When Musk sold his homes, the buyers included Chinese billionaire William Ding, Los Angeles developer Artie Tavangarian, and Russian entrepreneur Kira Levy. American billionaires leave. International Billionaires Arriba. But is this sustainable? What does California offer the wealthy? Weather, ocean, sun, Hollywood, Silicon Valley, but that's no longer enough. Fires get worse every year. Homelessness grows. Taxes rise. Crime increases. And the billionaires run. So what's left? 220,000 millionaires still live in Los Angeles. The city remains the fifth wealthiest in the world, but numbers can be deceiving. From 2014 to 2024, Los Angeles grew its millionaire population by 35%. But in the same period, Dubai grew by 102%, San Francisco by 98%, Miami by 94%, Austin by 90%. Los Angeles is one of the slowest growing wealthy cities, and while growth slows, departures accelerate. In-N-Out Burger, the iconic California fast food chain, moved its headquarters to Tennessee. Playboy left Los Angeles for Miami. Chevron moved from California to Texas. John Paul Mitchell moved his beauty company to Texas. Realtor.com moved from Santa Clara to Austin. It's not just billionaires. Companies are leaving too. And when companies leave, jobs leave. In 2024 to 2025, more than 200,000 people net left California. That means more people left than arrived. And who's leaving? High earners, highly educated, taxpayers. California's demographics are shifting, and this shift will shape the city's future. Is Los Angeles still the city of dreams? $165 million. Mansions still sell. Hollywood still makes movies. Silicon Beach still produces startups. But whose dream? Not for the 75,000 homeless. Not for workers who work 87 hours a week and still can't afford rent. Not for families who've lost their homes in the fires. Maybe Los Angeles was always two cities, one on screen. One, in reality. One, the city of dreams. One, the graveyard of dreams. And now, as billionaires flee, what remains? Empty abandoned dreams. Or something new? These questions have no answers, not yet. But the story of Los Angeles is still being written, and maybe this was the one thing money couldn't buy, a city's soul. Because souls aren't for sale, they're only abandoned.